What do Harry Potter, the Graveyard Book, and the Rwandan genocide have in common? Trust me, this is not the beginning to a joke. Let me start this week with John's question, because it's particularly apt. He asked what our boggart would be. And while I think everybody has in them a boggart like Molly Weasley's, where you see your family dead, I mean, that is horrifying. However, for it to be like, I think your boggart changes, and for it to be your current boggart, I think there has to be a reasonable fear of that. Like, for instance, there was a war going on, so she had a reasonable fear that they would die. I don't have a reasonable fear that thank God, any of my family would die right now, so I can't say that's it right now. You know, it all ties in nicely, because this week we're going to be talking about the Graveyard Book tonight in the chat, link in the sidebar. And the Graveyard Book is, at its heart, about claiming a place in the world, about a nobody who becomes a somebody, about wanting to become connected to the living and not just live among them as though one dead. It is a marvelous allegory for what I want to talk to you about this week, which is the Rwandan genocide. It happened 15 years ago. The United States paid very little attention. Our president, Bill Clinton at the time, made a half-assed apology 4 years later, which helped nobody. It certainly didn't help the 800,000 to 1 million people who were killed, or the many, many, many women who were raped by men who were urged to do so by their superiors. April 7th is the 15th anniversary of the beginning of that genocide. And what we're doing as members of the Harry Potter community, as members of the HP Alliance, as members of Dumbledore's army, in conjunction with the Nerd Fighters, you get a candle. You say, "Hi, my name is," and you say your name, you say how old you are, and you say where you're from, and you say, "I'm lighting a candle of hope for Rwanda." You light your candle, and you stay there silently for a few seconds. That's very important. Post your videos as a response to the Vlogbrothers video, which there'll be a link in the sidebar, or you can send it to videos@thehballiance.org. That's videos@thehballiance.org. Send it via send it via Mega Upload, send it just in the email if you can manage it, if it's small enough. And the best ones are going to actually be played during the ceremony at the memorial in Rwanda. Your video may just help to show somebody in Rwanda that we're ready to start acting Dumbledore's most famous phrase, that differences of habit and language are nothing at all if our minds are open. So with John's question being about a boggart, I mean, what's more important than that? What's more important than showing the world that we are connected to it? What's more important than showing our neighbor that if he hurts, you hurt? Just as Harry helps those less fortunate than he, just as Bod wants to be connected to the people around him, just as you know that if the situation was turned, you would want people to be willing to stand up for you. So it is important that we show people that we are willing to stand up for them. So I hope you'll join me. And we're going to talk about the Graveyard Book tonight in the Ustream channel, link in the sidebar. All the information that you can need about the Candles for Rwanda project is in the sidebar as well. Also, puzzlers, I'm running out of time for this video. I will post a video on my personal channel, link in the sidebar, that explains what happened. Cool? Cool. So yeah, John's question, you know, after listening to the HPA call yesterday, the only thing I can think of is that the scariest thing on earth is to be in a world where there's apathy, where nobody cares to stand up for somebody else. I would have to say that some vision of myself as completely apathetic and completely deaf to anybody else's cries would scare the bejesus out of me right now, because there's never been a time in any of our history, in any of our lives, I think, where it has been more important to show the world that we're part of it, that our minds and hearts stretch past our borders. So I hope you'll take part in this with me, and I will see you tonight.